Some people have been like, well, is that's not because of Caitlin Clark's popularity. No, it's not. But it is because of how the Indiana Fever have treated her and how they use her in games. Look no further than the coach. I mean, people are going through and digging up more and more things that Stephanie White has alluded to, said, whatever, that seems to diminish the importance of Caitlin Clark on this team. Now, you guys know, look, Caitlin Clark played at Iowa.
The Indiana Fever's social media presence is taking a sustained beating, with virtually every post drawing heavy criticism from a fan base that has grown increasingly restless. The organization finds
itself deep in what many are calling the Stephanie White effect, a compounding situation where coaching decisions, roster management, and public communication have combined to erode goodwill at a speed that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. Attendance continues to tell the story most clearly. The most recent home game left roughly 1,600 seats empty, marking what research suggests is the second lowest turnout since Caitlin Clark joined the franchise.
Played at Iowa. The Indiana Fever are in Indiana. All right? What do those two things have in common? They're Middle America. I believe, it's been my belief, that the Indiana Fever have the opportunity to be America's team. Middle America, the southern part of America. I'm in Texas. Look, I talk to a lot of Fever fans. I got Fever fans in my DMs right now that I talk to. They're from right here.
The significance of that number is hard to overstate. Clark's arrival transformed the Fever into one of the most talked about teams in women's basketball, and the idea of unfilled seats at an Indiana
home game was simply not part of that reality in 2024. The shift points not to any decline in Clark's drawing power, but to growing dissatisfaction with how the organization has chosen to deploy and
present her. Supporters have been combing through past interviews and public statements from Stephanie White, surfacing remarks that many interpret as downplaying Clark's centrality to the team.
They're from right here in Texas. All right, we're talking about a fan base that's very center, I would say center, middle politically, center, right-leaning probably. And I got to tell you, guys, we're not even in June yet. Was it last year that Pride Month got hijacked by Hawk Tua?
The accumulated effect of those comments has hardened opposition to White among a significant portion of the fan base, with critics arguing that a coach unwilling to publicly affirm her best player as such is not operating in the team's best interest. The concern now extending beyond the coaching situation is whether Fever leadership will respond to the mounting criticism by dismissing it rather
than engaging with it. The pattern being warned against is ones seen in other entertainment and sports properties. When audiences push back loudly, organizations sometimes respond by characterizing the
dissatisfied group as a fringe minority rather than treating the feedback as representative of a real problem. Fans are watching closely for any sign that Fever management, whether White, Amber Cox, or
Kelly Cross, moves in that direction.
Hawk Tua, that girl. Oh, the people was mad. Yeah, nobody's paying attention to you. Nobody's paying attention to you. Indiana Fever, love is love. We got a transgender flag. Celebrate Pride Night, presented by Salesforce, with us on June 4th against the Dream. That's the game against Angel Reese.
On the television side, viewership numbers from the U.S. network broadcast remain murky. A figure of 2 million viewers circulated widely, but has been traced back to an unverified social media post
with no credible sourcing behind it. More reliable reference points suggest the picture is considerably less flattering. A studio program that aired ahead of a recent game drew around 400,000 viewers,
and a Las Vegas Aces broadcast came in at approximately 343,000. Whether the Fever's game managed to clear 1 million viewers is still unknown, and the delay in official numbers being released has itself become a point of speculation.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Oh my God. Stephanie White is trending right now. Are they trying to get the most Light the Loafer fans to show up? I got to tell you, look at these numbers. 464 likes, 268 comments. Whew! It's a bad day. It is a bad day. Can't
For USA Network, which acquired the broadcast rights expecting Clark to drive a ratings lift, the possibility that those numbers are not materializing creates its own set of problems for the league's television future. The fan base that Clark brought to the Fever skews heavily toward Middle America, a broad, passionate audience that crossed demographic lines and geographic boundaries to invest in the team. Fever supporters have shown up from states far outside Indiana, drawn specifically by Clark. That audience is still present and still paying attention, but the signals they are sending, through empty seats, hostile comment sections, and declining resale prices, point to an organization at a crossroads with the very people it needs most.
It is a bad day. Can't you just be normal? I love the comment. I mean, right. We have the same rights as Americans do. I don't need special attention for my sexual orientation. I would be embarrassed to be there. I've said nobody's a hero based on who they want to sleep with. That's not a hero. Seriously? CDS Sports. Groomers.
The WNBA issued a statistical correction that retroactively awarded Caitlin Clark 2 assists from a prior game, pushing her official total to 10 for that performance and giving her the all-time
record for most games with 20 points and 10 assists in league history. The correction came after widespread attention on social media pointed to the miscrediting, and it took approximately 2 days
before the league acted. The broader conversation around WNBA stat keeping has been running for some times. Several specific examples have surfaced this season alone.
But no military USA 250 celebration. Going too far with the whole activism. The GOAT father of sports cards. Gross. No, thank you. Keep this shit out of here with families and children there. A lot of little girls. A lot of families. A lot of traditional family units spending money.
In one instance, Dearica Hamby received a pass from Erica Wheeler, held the ball, pivoted multiple times, waited several seconds, and then drove to score. The assist was credited to Kelsey Plum, who had not touched the ball on that possession. Separately, a sequence involving Paige Buchers generated 4 separate officiating and stat-keeping inconsistencies in a single stretch. One play was recorded as Buchers' turnover, one as a team turnover, one as a turnover, credited to a different player entirely after a ball deflected off her foot, and one possession where she wasn't credited with the rebound at all. None of those outcomes matched what occurred on the floor.
Spending money, coming to see Caitlin Clark. Look, that's It's one of the reasons, one of the large reasons, maybe the largest reason. Let me keep it real. The largest reason why this league has taken so long to kick off is the way they promote homosexuality. There, I said it out loud. You want to know why?
These patterns were also present last season, when Grace Berger was recorded with multiple turnovers that were visibly Buchser's mistakes, including at least one game where 3 such errors in a
single half were logged under the wrong player. The Clark correction itself was clear-cut. The 2 assists in question were direct and unambiguous. Players received passes and scored.
Behind her, flicks the ball, because that's something that Paige is actually, I've only noticed this year, is that she doesn't come down with rebound strong in the defensive end. Like most guards, when they come down with the ball with the defense, or with the ball on the rebound, look to push. Paige kind of stops when she catches a rebound, so people will swipe at her. Big swipe at her. It's happened 4 times this year. Once it was given as a turnover for Paige. Once it was given as a Dallas team turnover when she came down with a rebound. She got credit.
The adjustment brought her game total to 32 points and 10 assists, making it the 6th game in WNBA history with 30 or more points and 10 or more assists. No player other than Clark has ever recorded 30 points alongside 12 or more assists in a single game. Whether this game ranks among Clark's best as a professional is debatable, partly because the Fever lost.
She came down with a rebound. She got credit with a rebound, and it was a turnover once. She got credit with a rebound, and it was a team turnover once. Once she came down with a rebound, it happened where it got flicked up, and then she kind of fumbled with the ball, and Arike had her back turned, and she launched the ball off Arike's foot. Off the back of Arike's foot as Arike's running down the floor. Kickball violation, turnover, Arike. And one time she wasn't even credited with a rebound, so that they didn't have to give it. It was credited as an Indiana offensive rebound.
Some observers argue her finest performances have come in defeats. Games where the outcome reflected poorly on the team, despite a dominant individual effort. Among those cited are a rookie year performance in Phoenix with 14 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists. A Washington game late in her first season, where she scored 29 points and added 14 assists in the 4th quarter alone, nearly
engineering a comeback from 17 down. A 24-point, 19-assist outing against Dallas, and a 32-point performance except the Liberty where she fell, 1 rebound, and 1 assist short of a triple-double.
Before being taken off the floor, the most consistent thread across those performances is composure.
Rebound, so that they didn't have to give it. It was credited as an Indiana offensive rebound. Like, it is one of these things where it's like, you can see, and it's not, I'm not saying they're trying to bring down Paige's turnovers and they're trying to take down Caitlin's assists. I'm not saying that far. I'm just saying that it's one of these things that's really noticeable when it happens, where it's like, do you remember last year? Grace Berger averaged one of Paige Becker's turnovers a game. Like, there was a game where Grace Berger was given 3 turnovers in a half.
Clark has shown a repeated ability to continue competing at a high level through stretches of poor shooting, and to hit significant shots in closing minutes, when the margin for error is smallest. Adja.
Wilson had a comparable experience. A 6 for 22 shooting night against Indiana that remained competitive because of what else she contributed. And Clark's willingness to stay aggressive through cold.
Stretches follows a similar pattern. The correction was the right call.
There was a game where Grace Berger was given 3 turnovers in a half that were all Paige Becker's. Like, Paige Becker's dribbled the ball down the floor, dribbled it off her own foot, and it was given as a Grace Berger turnover. Like, it was madness last year. Like, some of the things that were given for these stats. But it's about time they actually went and changed it. They changed it. They'll never change it on a negative stat. But these were the most obvious ones. She clearly had 10 assists. Clearly had 10. Let's see if Stephanie White finds a way to credit her teammates with this accomplishment. Well,
What remains a fair criticism is the timeline. An assist that is visible on film and unambiguous in context should not require 2 days of public pressure before it is corrected. The fact that it
eventually was addressed is worth acknowledging. But the process that made it necessary in the first place is the more significant issue.
accomplishment. Well, technically they made the shot, so yes. Yes, she made the 10 assists. They finally gave her the 2 assists. I'm proud of the whole team having multiple 30 plus, 10 plus assist games. If it wasn't for the team, she'd probably be like, oh, Caitlin broke a record. Well, if it wasn't for her teammates making shots, she wouldn't have had 10 assists. It is what it is. It is what it is, but it's good that this finally happened. It's good that this finally happened. It's finally happened. Caitlin had 32 and 10 assists. It is the 6th all-time 30 and 10 assists. By the way, nobody other than Caitlin has had 30 and 12 assists ever. And she had 32 and 10. I stand by this. Had the Fever pulled it out, like had that Kelsey Mitchell shotgun in, this would be unanimously seen as the best game Caitlin has ever played as a pro. Like, and the annoying thing is, I actually think most of Caitlin's best games have been in losses. So, if you're asking me what are Caitlin's best games as a pro, like her actual best games, I still think Phoenix rookie year, 14-13. Was it 14-13 and 9? But it was just how she dominated that game. That has to be up there. Chicago rookie year, but Chicago were just sorry. They were just sorry. Washington in a loss rookie year, where they were down like basically she did the same thing. I think they were down 17 points to start the fourth quarter, and she went on a one-woman tear, 29 of 14. Nearly both of those were in the fourth quarter. And I do think she turned it over when they were down 3. But I'm like, she literally dragged them back into that game by herself when it was looking like it was over. That was a really early game. That was like the kids' camp game. The 24-19 game versus Dallas was an exceptional game.